Welcome to Annapolis Mosaics. Our program spotlights people in our community who are involved in activities designed to promote good human relations. I am Mike Keller, the chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission and your host. The commission is a city board that seeks to promote equal opportunity and to eliminate discrimination. My guest today is Carolyn Finney, the Director of Programs for the Family Tree. Welcome to Annapolis Mosaics.
Glad to be here.
Well, what is the mission of the Family Tree? What's it all about?
The Family Tree is the largest nonprofit in Maryland working for the prevention of child abuse and neglect.
Okay. All right. Well, the Family Tree has served Maryland families for more than 40 years.
Yes.
Could you tell our viewers a little bit about the history of the organization, including the number of families that you have served during this period?
Oh, wow. The Family Tree has been in existence for over 40 years, actually built on our predecessors, Parents Anonymous of Maryland and the Child Abuse Prevention Center, both agencies that working in the same field of prevention of child abuse got together and decided that they were best to work together. And so over a few year period, they worked out an agreement. And in 1997, the Family Tree was born. And we began to provide services for parent support groups, parent education, in-home services. We used to call our folks lay therapists, along with a statewide call line. In fact, that's what makes us really statewide. We have, since that time, we have added many different programs and have many different projects, all in the idea of preventing child abuse in the state of Maryland. You know that child abuse is a public health issue, and we see it as being the foundation for many of the difficulties people have, both in childhood and later on into adult life.
The Family Tree has a multi-year strategic prevention plan for dealing with child abuse. Could you provide us with some details about it?
Just a few.
All right.
We know that child abuse and neglect is not a problem that we alone as the Family Tree can settle. So one of our initiatives is to build partnerships across the state, partnerships that will help us get the message out. Our biggest partners currently are our volunteers. We have over 300 volunteers that help us provide our various activities.
It's quite a number.
Yes, it's quite a number. Mostly they help with us on our call line.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the programs. You're Director of Programs for it, and I'd like to talk in some detail about the variety of programs that you offer. You offer, for example, family education programs. Let's go down and talk about the various ones that you have. You offer family training programs.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about the family training programs. What are all those about?
Those family programs are really focused on the individual family members, usually the parent, where the parents come to us with skills. We don't want to say the parents don't. There are some parents who have problems in being a parent. And so the classes are really directed towards helping parents understand child development, helping them understand the importance of parent-child communication, and how to manage their children in a much better fashion than using physical abuse or even yelling.
You also have family guidance programs,
Yes.
the LEAF and ABC.
Yeah.
What are those?
Those are really exciting programs. They're they're among our newer programs, and one is a one-on-one one counseling program for one-on-one, one family, one therapist, working with a family to help resolve a incident of recent abuse. That's the LEAF program.
Okay.
ABC is designed to work with young mothers who are having difficulty bonding with their children. It's a 10-week program in which moms learn how to better interact with their kids, hopefully heading off very, very difficult problems. Those parents are parents of infants and toddlers.
Okay. You also, I think you made a brief reference to this earlier, you have support groups like
Yes.
Parents Anonymous. What's
Parents Anonymous is not like an AA program,
Okay.
Alcoholics Anonymous. The real meaning behind Parents Anonymous is that parents don't have to use their real name.
Right.
They're weekly support groups. They are actually, Parents Anonymous is what we now call an evidence-based practice, which means that there is a lot of research behind it that says that parents who participate 4 or more times in our groups will really be much more successful in parenting their child. It's less structured than our classes, and so parents can come in when they need support and come back when they need support.
You also do a lot of home visitation. You've
Yes.
got programs called Healthy Families and
Yes.
PATH.
Yes. Healthy Families is an attempt to work with prenatal moms, prenatal families, let me say that, because we also work with dads, providing assistance and making sure that those moms begin to think in terms of parenting their child and being prepared to parent their child and get good health care before giving birth.
Okay.
So we help parents get ready for their baby, parents who are in difficult situations. In this case, we're trying to avoid abuse before it happens at all.
Right. You also have child and youth development programs, too.
Yes. Yes, we do. That's also among our more recent programs. We believe that our actual motto is stopping child abuse in this generation and the next. Our youth programs are aimed at providing for youth the life skills they need in order to successfully navigate to adulthood.
Right. And then finally, you have family life workshops.
Yes. Those are workshops that we provide, providing information to families in little bits. They are things about managing your stress and communication with your child, so that parents can get a snippet of really what I'm having problems with is talking with my teen. Mm-hmm. So that there are workshops like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure our viewers are going to be impressed by the range and the depth and the breadth of the programs that the Family Tree offers to citizens to deal with this issue of child abuse. In addition to all of the educational programs, the Family Tree also has community services as well. For example, you have a 24/7 parenting hotline.
Yes, we do. We are available to help parents be coached through, by telephone, behavior incidents in their home. Mm-hmm. Anytime they're having a struggle with their child, we are able to coach and then make referrals to agencies and organizations in their community that will give them longer-term help.
Mm-hmm. Now, you made reference earlier to the fact that you work with other organizations, and in fact, you do have a network of providers across
Yes.
Across
Yes,
Maryland
we do.
that you interact with. So you're really not on your own on this.
Right.
Who are some of the providers? Who are the groups that you work with? Give us a sense of the extent to which you collaborate with other organizations.
We work with schools. Some of our services are provided directly in schools for school populations. So, for example, our support groups are frequently in public schools. We also offer services to faith-based organizations. And so we provide classes in their sites, that kind of thing. And of course, we're connected with the various state agencies like the Department of Juvenile Services and the Department of Human Resources, local DSSs, excuse me, local Departments of Social Services.
We're going to take a break now, but when I return, we will talk with Carolyn Finney about the family tree and some of the very specific examples that she can provide, and stories that she can provide about the way the organization has helped families in Maryland.
I'm Staff Sergeant Meg Krause. I was on active duty for 5 years. I was a medic. My psychological health, I didn't think it was an issue when I came home, but one of my soldiers actually said,
I think you might be suffering from PTSD.
I came back from Iraq and I have PTSD too. You have to talk about it because if you hold it in, your life just gets miserable.
Since Sergeant Krause has returned from seeking treatment, she's back to the way she was when I first got in the unit as far as being a very outstanding NCO.
We're continuing the interview with Carolyn Finney of the Family Tree. The Family Tree provides a range of seminars for professionals who might come in contact with child abuse. Can you tell us a little bit about these?
Yes. We provide training for individuals who work with children and families around understanding what child abuse is, what are the signs of child abuse, and as well as their requirements as mandated reporters. Most individuals who do that kind of work are required to work with mandated reporters. Our most recent adventure is working with Head Starts in Baltimore City, and also to work with the local parks and recs in providing information on recognizing and understanding child abuse.
Okay. The Family Tree is also the lead agency for something called the Enough Abuse campaign in Maryland. Yes. Okay, what's the purpose of this endeavor?
The Enough Abuse campaign is to combat child sexual abuse. We see that the child sexual abuse is a problem that adults can have much more say in and understand. It is not enough for the child to understand good touch but bad touch, but it's also important for adults to be aware of the issue as well as understand how individuals who perpetrate this awful crime are not just strangers. They are, in fact, people we know, unfortunately. About 95% of those individuals are known to the family and trusted individuals. So teaching your child about having no one touch them wherever their bathing suit covers is a good idea. And having children learn the name of their body parts so that people aren't confused when they're reporting to an adult, a trusted adult.
What are the efforts that you undertake? It's called 15 Minutes for Families.
Yes. We have.
What's that?
That's a really exciting initiative. We know that there are ways in which families can avoid not only abuse and neglect, but can better bond with their children. And last year we featured mealtime, eating together, and the importance that it has for academic success, and as well as children staying away from substance abuse, because during mealtime families have conversations, at least 15 minutes of conversation. And then this year we are our promotion is for people to take time to play with their families. Sometimes we forget in our busy lives that it only takes a few minutes to play a small game, to take the kids off the computer and play live jacks instead of jacks on the computer alone. So it's very important for bonding, helping kids learn how to cooperate with each other, so that those kinds of activities are very important for families.
I am sure that you have many stories based on your work with the family tree about families that you have worked with. Yes. Could you share some of these with our viewers, understanding that there's obviously confidentiality features and the like, but just in general, talk about ways that you have seen the family tree really make a difference in the lives of family members and have really helped to respond to the scourge of child abuse in our community.
For many families, particularly the place that you see it most are in our support groups and in our classrooms, when families are sharing their stories. Like there was a gentleman whose children were coming to him for the first time, and he just wanted to be sure that he could be a good father to them because their mother was incapacitated in terms of illness and substance abuse. And he came to us and he shared with us that he learned so much about the importance of child development, and that 2-year-olds aren't hyperactive because they run around, because 2-year-olds run around. And their attention span isn't long. Attention span grows as we grow older, well, for most people. We also had a mom who was recently divorced, who had 5 kids, and she and her husband had shared child rearing responsibilities. All of a sudden, 5 kids, taking care of 5 kids, she was on her own, and she was overwhelmed. So she found our support group extremely helpful. With our support group and our parent education classes, in our headquarters office at least, we run a children's program at the same time, so that many times the kids participate in our children's program and really have a very good time, and they kind of nudge parents to come on, let's go back to that place and while you go to class, I can go to the playroom.
Yeah. Any other stories that you've got that you could just share? Our viewers would love to hear the stories.
I'm kind of stumped. Wait a minute. We also had, this is another story of a dad. This dad had been incarcerated, and he came to our parent support group actually for many years, working with his kids, because a lot of people aren't intending to hurt their children, but they're raising their kids the way they were raised. We learned from our parents, and there was a time when maybe spanking was in fashion, and it wasn't. And one of the things that he learned was that the importance of communicating and talking with your children. And sometimes just sharing with them why their behavior is a problem is help enough to start the child behaving in a different manner.
You mentioned earlier you have 300 volunteers. Yes. What do the volunteers do?
Oh my goodness, a lot of things. They help us on our call line.
Okay.
They help us in the classroom. We have wonderful classroom facilitators. They help us with our support groups. We also use student interns for our home visiting. So we also partner with colleges and universities. So they are among our volunteers. We have a wonderful board of 45 members who greatly help us throughout the year. through our marketing activities as well as our fundraising activities. And there are people who come and help us with our one-time events.
Well, I am certain that our viewers are going to be very interested in getting more information about the family tree. How can they learn about your organization? How can they get in touch with you, either through a website or a phone number?
We have a wonderful website that provides an awful lot of resources and information for the community and families. It's www.familytreemd, all one word, .org.
Okay, so that's www.familytreemd.org.
Yes.
Okay, and people can get information on that website.
Yes.
Now, just to let our viewers know that there will be a short video as part of this segment about the family tree, and you are strongly encouraged to look at that as well. And thank you, viewers, for watching our program today. And please join us again on Annapolis Mosaics. If you would like to have more information about the Annapolis Human Relations Commission, jot down the information on your screen. You can reach us at 410-263-7998 or by email at hrcommission@annapolis.gov. Or check out our page at the City of Annapolis website. Go to www.annapolis.gov, click on City Government, then on Boards and Commissions, and you can scroll down to the Human Relations Commission page. And always remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We have flown the air like birds and swum the seas like fishes, but have yet to learn the simple act of walking the earth as brothers and sisters."
Some days I was so scared, she got so angry, I thought she might kill me.
What if you could save a child? A child like Trevor, who was born to a single mother in Maryland, who sometimes felt overwhelmed by the stress of caring for Trevor, until she was referred to one of the family tree's life-changing parenting education classes, where Trevor's mom learned strategies for positive discipline, nurturing and connecting with her child, and building a network of support, which helped her to become a better mom to Trevor, who started behaving better at home, who went on to graduate at the top of his high school class, and became the first member of his family to graduate college, where he met his wife, Alicia, who recently gave birth to their first child, Trevor Jr., who is a very lucky baby. The good news? Last year, the family tree helped thousands of parents like Trevor's mom break the cycle of abuse and neglect. We conducted 10,000 parenting education classes like the one Trevor's mom attended. We facilitated 900 parent support groups. We provided 3,300 free home visits. We offered 150 workshops to train child care professionals to prevent, identify and report suspected child abuse. 4,200 times last year, we answered the 24-hour parenting helpline and provided guidance in a sympathetic ear. Every day at the Family Tree, we are breaking the cycle of child abuse and neglect in Maryland, and it's working. For those who take parenting classes, 94% of the families maintain their children at home, and 84% did not have a repeat incidence of child maltreatment. Because every child deserves a bright future. What if we could save every child like Trevor? With your help, we can. Be part of the solution.